Aloha, Big Island. Today's January 22nd. This is your daily update. If you're new to this channel, the purpose of it is to inform you about everything Andrew Yang. If it's on the internet, it's on Twitter, Reddit, newspaper, periodicals, word of mouth. No, most things are vetted and sourced out. A lot of the video channels that we go to, like Problem Solver Politics, like The Hill, like Humanity First, Humanity Forward, Summation Kid, Zach and Matt Show, Kai Watson, Bryce with Mindful Skeptics, Fred with Felons. There's just so many. Lisa with Tioto Productions, so many. Dominic and Bernice. Honestly, so many. You just got to check our channel. Anywho, we take that, we put Cliff Notes. We try and go between 5, 10, sometimes stretching a little bit more than 10, but mostly under 10 minutes. Just big flow traffic on the interwebs with Andrew lately. There's a lot more videos. When I started doing this, making videos, I had been watching the platform that I'm doing in a condensed version for about 4 months, and there was nothing. There's like maybe 1 or 2 videos. Now there's like 20 or 30 videos, which is hard to go through it, but I'm doing it, I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm bringing it to you. So Big Island, if you haven't gotten out to an event, go to yang2020.com, take 5 minutes and sign up, buy a little merch and represent. Go there to learn about policies, and you could also see where events are. You could get on Mobilize through the website, check out what's near you, and then come out and support. There's always something to be done for the Yang campaign. If you are already Yang Gang, that means you can text bank if you don't have a platform for a computer. If you have a computer and a cell phone, you could be doing phone banking. Get on it. There's already challenges, there's stuff going on. The best way to reach somebody who does not know about Andrew Yang is to call them and talk about their concerns. In the description below, we've got Kai Watson breaking down what it looks like to actually do it. You're not going to have the best time doing it, but that one person that you get through, it makes all the difference. Big Island, let's come through on this. Let's start text backing. Let's go to yang2020.com and let's volunteer. Also, if you have any questions, you can email us at yanggangbigisland@gmail.com. Alrighty. So, Yang Daily 10. After we go through our spiel in the morning here, basically about doing, hey, donate to the campaign, every dollar helps. Donate to our platform at Patreon here. We put it into shirts and flyers, and then we give it out back to the community, and also it helps to be able to go to do phone banking parties and do different events. We need trash bags to pick up after ourselves, and we also get merch to give away to people. So if you don't have money, or you do have money, check out yanggangbigisland.com. You can donate money for people who are less fortunate to get some swag to represent. Alrighty, so what we do is we go through this and we break down the same thing almost every day at sources that we enjoy. There are 364 days till President Yang gets inaugurated. Check out the countdown timer below and add it to your wall, to your Facebook page, to anything that it just represents. You are looking down to the day where Andrew Yang runs this country like a business with a PowerPoint presentation and all the data that would, I digress. Anywho, Yang Daily 10, today's Daily 10 is today's National Skydiving Day. So, what you need to do is get 4 other people, decide who's going to be the Y, who's going to be the A, who's going to be the N, and the G, charter a plane, and get ready. I'm just joking. They even did that on the website. Don't go skydiving. The best thing you could do is just tweet and retweet and do all these things about Andrew Yang. Basically, if you want to, get online, do phone banking. That's the most important thing. That's what they put on the website. I'm also going to say that as well. Get on there and phone bank. If you can't phone bank, text bank. It's awesome. You get on Slack, you meet a bunch of the rest of the Yang Gang, you find your local area of Yang Gang chapter, you get a Google document that talks about everything anybody's going to ask you. And if they don't have it on there, you've got the Yang Gang to ask. We'll get back, we'll answer those questions for you, and you could tell the person that you're talking to, I don't know. It's the best 3 words you could say, because if you don't, to BS somebody is not humanity first. It's not part of the code of conduct, and it's not the way our country should be run, let alone the path to get there. Dig it? Good. All right, so moving on off of Yang Daily 10, as I said, there's 364 days. Put the countdown timer in your daily feed, your YouTube channel, your Facebook, whatever. And then here's another good one. If you want to become a precinct lead in Iowa, don't need to live there, just need to be able to get the deed done. There's the description down below. Click on it, talk to somebody, volunteer. All right, Twitter. Anakara, Andrew Yang, 2020, her channel. She's talking about Andrew Yang and Crenshaw. And if you didn't see that video, it is badass. They're in the middle of the street dancing and singing Andrew Yang's praises. Their math said, make America truly happy, and I also agree with that acronym. Anywho, he's in today's in Charles City, and it looks cold out there. My God, this must be the 28th time he's been back. Can you imagine how many things Andrew Yang does in one day? Let alone just like, it's just amazing. All right. On Twitter, they're talking a lot about the impeachment process, and this is kind of counter to Andrew. He's talking about, don't talk about that impeachment process. The more we talk about it, we give him praise. However, I hear you, I see it. There's a bunch of people talking in the Senate and the House and talking about impeachment and what's been done and what's going to be happening and what did transpire. And honestly, that's not left or right. That's not forward. That's just a bunch of nonsense. It's just a bunch of people filling headlines and selling papers. That's not the America that I think we want to live in, folks. All right. Impeachment process, yada, yada, yada. And then on the Twitter, they're talking about more signs, more posters. There are people doing full wrap banners on their apartment complex in California. Iowa has signs everywhere. Pictures from New York show Andrew Yang signs on phone poles all the way as far as you could see. Pretty amazing. All right, moving on. Reddit. Pro-Trump bras have gotten involved in the Twitter and the Reddit feeds. Almost half of the Yang-oriented has some sort of negative comment on there, very guttural, very uneducated, very ugh. And it's obvious that they're trolls. Now is the point where we're going to see those trolls come out of the woodwork because nobody wants to hear the voice of sanity in a crazy, mixed up reality. We don't live in a rational world, and when someone offers rational concepts, it seems abstract. Anywho, watch out for that code of conduct. Read it twice. Enforce it, live it. It's just a better way. It's not an ism, it's not a religion, it's an ideology that you would use in any business, you'd use in any dynamic. You want to be treated good, treat other people good. If nothing else, it's the golden rule, eh? Periodicals. Catherine Miller did something on BuzzFeed that covered all about Andrew. It's another outlet, another source. Check it out, it's in the description. Moving on to the videos. Boys Today with Mindful Skeptics has two videos that I quick linked on there. The first one is him talking about the college polling, which is really cool. I did not know this, but Chegg, CHEGG.org, he says, and is relating with this app called Pulse app. They're doing college polls, 1,500, I think he said, a week. Last poll that we've done was on January 14th with registered students, and 12%. That's third place, baby. Iowa. It's representative. This is it. Even like this 13 to 17% undecided is still something to be jumping about. All right, moving on. The second video we did was about how the New York Times put out the poll, thing about backing two candidates, and neither one of them were Andrew Yang, which is interesting considering their poll rankings. Anywho, Yimby Arts. Ryan covers the Yang Gang in SoCal and Crenshaw, what I was talking about up in the Twitter feed. And it was also talking about how Andrew's the Asian brother now in the Black Agenda and what's going to be happening now as far as trying to attack and be a part of this ideology that Andrew somehow supports the white supremacist movement. It is the furthest thing from the truth. There was a segment that was the first question on the Brown and Black show, and the whole thing, as I said in a previous video, yesterday's or the day before, that the whole video seemed kind of standoffish, like trying to ask questions that were interrogative to get a different response. The audience was disengaged, and it seemed like the two co-hosts had just really not done a lot of research. However, I was angry, and then I pulled it back for a minute, and I was like, you know what? Not every event and everything's going to be a stump speech. Not every question is going to be the one you want to see or hear. So I'm getting text from Yang Gang at the have you donated it on the website. Not everyone's going to be great. Not every event's going to have people talking about the polls, and not everything's going to have the polls that you're going to want and be representative. It just is what is covered in the biased media and what is being covered and pushed by the agenda of the DNC. They're even having issues saying that Bernie's not the choice of the DNC and that things are going raw for the Bernie bras and the whole foundation. The way I feel is any media coverage which doesn't cover the gamut and the span of it gives everybody less information. You wouldn't enter a relationship, you wouldn't get a guitar, you wouldn't buy a car, you wouldn't even take a job without knowing all the information about it. Just saying, with more information, you make more informed decisions. That's why we do this channel. Yang Gang Big Island, if you have any questions, contact us at yanggangbigisland@gmail.com. Go to yang2020.com and get informed. And also, volunteer to phone bank. You'll learn. All right, moving on. Lindside. Andrew called it. They'll all start stealing his platform. This description in the video down below just talks about how It really is interesting how people's websites, like let's say Steyer or Biden or Bloomberg or any of them, just their format has changed drastically since 4 or 5 months ago to resemble what Andrew's looks like. The wording and the things that they're saying on stage, from Biden to Pete Buttigieg to all of them, all the lingo he said they would laugh at, then they would sort of like disagree with, and then they would adapt and accept and use it as their own, and then Andrew's president. That's basically how he laid it out. If you've seen this happen trending and you've been Yang Gang since almost the beginning after the Joe Rogan, or even before that, you will understand that the idea of Andrew Yang in an entire itself is not a politician. When we say he represents the people, he is the closest chance to empowering people of color and empowering women. And pulling out Medicare and Medicaid and all these other different functions from where we work changes the way we fundamentally think about what we're going to do in the fourth industrial revolution, when automation takes beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, David Spade, all the jobs. At least the ones I'm qualified for. I'm in the 80%. I'm part of the 73 that live paycheck to paycheck. One bad paycheck or one bad thing like this car door falling off, I'm back to zero again, like most of us. So if you are on the island, there's 365 days in the year. Today is 364 days till Andrew gets inaugurated, but you got to get out and vote. So go to vote411.org and register as a Democrat. Our primaries are April 4th, February's are April 3rd. Watch the wave come crashing down. All right, moving on. Humanity First, Sean Rocks, show him some love. He wants views, why not? Give it to him. He's gonna help promote it as well. He wants Yang to be president, so do we, so why not do both? Go over there and promote him and share his channel as well. At 1, Ute explains the VAT tax. Very simple, does a comparison for people who just don't grasp it. There's a visual about how we spend the 80%, 73%, and how the above the 20% spends that money. It's a comparison, it's rough, but it works. All right, YJ Gold today, it's day 17. His leg is still hurting him, so he wasn't able to go out and canvas in the snow. However, he did have a partner in crime today. Lena drove with him, and she went and hit all the doors. So the two of them were able to hold down what the space that they were given, which is amazing. If you have a chance, go to his channel, check him out, what he's doing. This is not Andrew related, the last piece, but there is something to be said about somebody who gives the piece and tells it. We on this channel are a summation channel. We take everything, plummet it into one, and try and keep it underneath. Ooh, we're at 12 minutes. 13 minutes. We try and keep it under 10 minutes. We might say keeping it under 15 depending on how much news, or you're gonna have to edit this better. Either way, check out the gentleman below. His name's Lee Camp. He's a comedian, he's an American, he's a patriot. I've been following him for about 5 years now, since we lived in Oakland and made the change over here to Hawaii. I really enjoy what he has to say. A lot of it can be seen as conspiracy theorists, but when you listen to the words that come out of his mouth and it's unfiltered, non-biased, you can then get an appreciation for why our democracy's broken, capitalism is suffering, and almost, dare I say, might be at bay for being one of the things we lose due to automation, because there's no way for the 20% to just not keep taking more money. It's an addiction like crack cocaine. If it's there, you will find it and take it. So, by diversifying, spreading out the funds, putting $1,000 in women's hands, you empower them. By putting $1,000 in black hands, you empower black communities. And all in all, when you do things like a big old Venn diagram, getting rid of the penny, putting term limits on congressional seats, what else is great? Making Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. states. Rather than drain the swamp, which is a great catchphrase, which is what we do, catchphrases like build a wall, drain a swamp, yada yada. Take the people out of Washington to disperse that. Put any institution that's in Washington, like let's say Department of Education, which Ben Carson is he's urban development. Betsy DeVos is very, very qualified for the job. Take that whole institution out and put it in Iowa. Put it in South Carolina. You will create jobs and you will destabilize the idea that Washington is so corrupt. That's how you fix it. Andrew Yang has the plan. All these work as a Venn diagram together for cohesion. So when automation and beep, 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 boop, beep takes over jobs that we're allowed to work, there won't be this civil war between the 80%, which might be like 90% against 5. Can you imagine a world where people use their First Amendment and Second Amendment rights to take back what should have been ours? Should have been theirs. Thomas Paine championed for it, Martin Luther King championed for it. We have just had 2 great events that happened, Women's Day marches and Martin Luther King Day. If you haven't gone online, check them out. There's stuff happening all around the nation, and Andrew Yang and the Yang Gang has made a presence at everything. Check out Yang Week, which is now Yang Month, and also volunteer. Go to yang2020.com. And as always, aloha, Big Island.